The slap echoed to the gravity hall like a gunshot, and for half a second, the entire alien academy froze. Jax Calder tasted blood and metal as his head snapped sideways, the stars of the Orion arm spinning behind his eyes. The alien instructor's palm, 3-fingered, scaled, and dense as starship armor, lowered slowly, as if daring anyone to challenge what had just happened. "Silence, human," Trainer Cthal hissed, his translator implant buzzing with contempt. "Lies dishonor this chamber." But Jax wasn't lying, and that was the problem. The Galactic Auxiliary Academy orbited above the dead side of Mars, a cathedral of steel and alien geometry where hundreds of species trained together under one brutal truth. Humans were weak, too emotional, too fragile, useful only as technicians or cannon fodder. Jax had grown up hearing that truth whispered at every checkpoint and shouted in every classroom. Still, he had spoken. "My grandpa trained the Emperor's men," Jax said again, wiping blood from his lip. "The original ones." A ripple of laughter spread to the cadets. Scaled warriors, insectoid tacticians, luminous energy beings pulsing with mockery. The Emperor's men were legend, myth, the elite enforcers of the Galactic Imperium, undefeated for 3 centuries. And they weren't human. Cthal stepped closer, his massive frame blotting out the light. "Your species was pre-warp when the Emperor rose," he snarled. "You insult history." Jax's heart pounded, not with fear, but with something older, anger, pride, the kind his grandfather used to carry in silence. What I saw next, Jax would later think, changed everything. The slap should have ended it. That was how it always went. Humans learned their place. But then the floor vibrated. Not an explosion, not an alarm. A rhythm. Heavy boots, measured and calm, approaching from a maintenance corridor, an area no cadet ever noticed. The doors hissed open. A human walked in. He wore grease-stained coveralls, sleeves rolled up, gray hair tied back with fiber cord. His hands were scarred, knuckles thick, eyes sharp in a way Jax recognized instantly. The kind of eyes that had seen war and survived it. Every alien in the hall stiffened. The mechanic didn't look impressed. "Trainer Cthal," the man said evenly, "you strike my grandson again, and I'll show you why the Emperor still has nightmares." The silence shattered into something else entirely. Cthal laughed once. Nervous, uncertain. "You are maintenance cast," he said. "Leave." The mechanic didn't move. "Name's Elias Calder," he said, "and I trained the Emperor's men." None of us were prepared for the truth. Security drones descended from the ceiling, weapons warming. Cadets backed away instinctively. The air felt thinner, charged. Cthal's eyes narrowed. Impossible. Elias sighed, like a man tired of repeating himself across centuries. He reached into his coveralls and pulled out something small and black, a ring, scarred and ancient. He dropped it on the floor. The metal rang once. Every alien officer in the hall froze. That ring wasn't a symbol. It was a key, a biometric command token lost since the Purge Wars, the kind that only one class of beings had ever carried, the Emperor's men. But that was only the beginning. Jax watched as Cthal's posture shifted from dominance to calculation. "If this is true," the trainer said slowly, "then you are a relic, a weapon long discarded." Elias smiled, and it wasn't kind. "You don't discard weapons like us. You bury them and pray they stay buried." He looked at Jax then, really looked at him, and something heavy passed between them. Regret, love, fear. "Boy," Elias said softly, "you should have kept your mouth shut." The academy went into lockdown. As guards escorted Elias and Jax through corridors that suddenly felt hostile, Jax's mind reeled. His grandfather, the quiet mechanic who fixed recyclers on Luna Station, who never talked about the scars on his back, was something else entirely. "Why didn't you tell me?" Jax whispered. Elias chuckled without humor. Because legends get hunted, and I wanted you to have a normal life. But you trained them, Jax said. The Emperor's men. Elias stopped walking. Guards hesitated. I trained the first generation, he said, back when Imperium needed humans. That revelation hit harder than the slap. Humans had been warriors once. In a sealed chamber overlooking Mars, Cthal and the Academy Council confronted them. Holograms flickered, records long classified, now awakening at Elias's presence. Humans in combat exosuits. Humans leading alien battalions. Humans standing beside the Emperor himself. Then the footage cut to executions, to betrayals. The Imperium feared you, Cthal admitted. Your adaptability, your refusal to obey without reason. So you erased us, Elias said, turned us into janitors. Jax felt something crack inside him. The mid-story truth settled like gravity. Humanity hadn't been weak. It had been silenced. And the Emperor's men hadn't vanished. They had been dismantled. But that was only the beginning. An alarm wailed, different this time. External, ancient. The ring on the floor pulsed. Elias closed his eyes. Damn it, he muttered. They found me. The station shook as a warship decloaked above Mars, black and gold, bearing the Emperor's crest. The council panicked. Cthal backed away. They cannot take you, the trainer said. Not here. They can, Elias replied. And they will. He turned to Jax, grabbing his shoulders. Listen to me. What they took from humanity, they can't take back if you choose differently. What do I do? Jax asked, voice breaking. Elias pressed the ring into Jax's hand. It burned, scanning him, accepting him. You remember who we were, Elias said. You remind them. Imperial soldiers breached the chamber, towering, armored, faceless. The Emperor's men reborn, but hollow. Their leader spoke. Jax Calder. You will return to custody. Elias stepped forward alone. Not alone, he said. He moved like a storm. What I saw next changed everything. Elias dismantled them, not with strength but precision, exploiting pauses, predicting logic. Human chaos against alien order. But there were too many. A blade pierced Elias' side. He staggered. Jax screamed. Run. Elias shouted. Be better. Jax didn't run. He stepped forward, ring glowing brighter, memories flooding in, tactics, instincts, something ancient waking up. The soldiers hesitated. Human emotion versus alien programming. Jax met their gaze. You forgot why you feared us, he said. We don't fight because we're ordered to. He raised a ring. We fight because we choose to. The ring unleashed a command buried for centuries. The soldiers froze, then knelt. Silence fell. Elias collapsed, smiling faintly. Guess you're the trainer now. Tears streamed down Jax's face as medics rushed in. Alien human, no longer separate. Elias died looking at Mars. The Imperium withdrew. The Academy changed. Months later, Jax stood in the same gravity hall, no longer bleeding. Cadets listened. Human, alien, equal, and on the wall, newly engraved, were words that would echo across the stars. Humanity was never weak. It was waiting. The last thing Jax thought, as he closed his eyes, was his grandfather's voice, steady, proud, and finally heard.